You're listening to Change Your POV Podcast, episode 125.
You know, what does trust represent in your life? Why is it so crucial to our success? So, trust, basically, all right, so the dictionary definition of trust, according to Merriam-Webster, it is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something.
Change Your POV brings you an attack episode every week. ATTACK is an acronym that stands for Actionable Tips, Tricks, and Coachable Knowledge. One of the toughest things when I got out of the Army after 10 years was learning to ask for help. I felt like a private all over again. Living in this big, unfamiliar civilian world was difficult for me at first. I didn't know what I didn't know. But finally, over time, I learned to seek and ask for help. Listen to those who knew better than I did, and trust my gut that I was headed in the right direction. Attack Fridays does just that. We give you a piece of knowledge that we've learned through experience and share it with you. Now here's your host, Bennett Tanton, in this week's Attack episode, where he shares with us his thoughts about trust.
Welcome to the Change Your POV podcast, Attack Friday, where we teach you guys and give you actionable tips, tricks, and coachable knowledge to take into your weekend and the following week to just make your lives better and to improve stuff. So, I'm Bennett Tanton, your host for this Attack episode, and what we're going to talk about on this episode is, it's actually going to be 3 parts. I'm going to break it into 3 separate episodes, but the first one is going to be about trust. And, you know, what does trust represent in your life? Why is it so crucial to our success? So, trust, basically, all right, so the dictionary definition of trust, according to Merriam-Webster, it is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. So with that being said, who should we trust? In my opinion, the most important person to trust above all else is ourselves. If you can't trust yourself, how are you supposed to go through life? Seriously. So this episode is basically, obviously you should be able to trust your parents, your family, and if you can't, man, I feel for you. So you may be somebody that trusts yourself. This may not be you, and that's great. More power to you. I guess you don't have to listen to the rest of this episode then. But if you are one of those people that really doesn't trust yourself, or you don't know what I'm talking about, trusting yourself, then here's a few techniques, tips, tricks, or things to focus on to regain trust in yourself, okay? Now, the biggest thing, first of all, number 1, is to take responsibility for your life. We all run into obstacles. There's always external forces pulling and twisting on our lives, external problems. That is life. We also have a tendency to blame our mistakes and issues on these very same things, whether it be your kids, your job, your anything. We have a tendency to blame that for our issues. So how can you trust yourself if you're always blaming the obstacles and the external problems for all your issues? If you do not take responsibility for your life, you will never be able to fully trust yourself because you are not being honest with yourself. And that's what trust is all about, right? Honesty. Now, I've had issues with this in the past myself. I have issues with it on a daily basis where sometimes I don't necessarily trust my judgment or trust things that I do. I think we all kind of go through this. So the difference is you have to take responsibility for that. It's you. You're 50% of every equation. There's 50% coming from other forces necessarily, but again, you need to take responsibility for it. You are not a victim. And this is the foundation for trusting yourself. So number 2, find people you trust. Surround yourself with people you trust and get rid of the people that you don't. If the people you don't trust happen to be your family, again, I'm going to say it again, I feel for you. It's just not the way it should be. This is not easy. But these people you can trust. There are people that you can trust out there. There really are. I'm pretty sure you probably have some of them in your life now. So hang out with honest people. Remember, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And that just doesn't go for, it goes for life in general. So if you're hanging out with successful people, you're going to probably be successful. And success is all gauged differently. But if you hang out with people that are trustworthy or that are honest, more than likely you all are going to be as well. Number 3, talk and write about what you're feeling. Talk to people you trust. Talk to people in general. Whether that is a spouse, a sibling, a therapist, someone that is really listening. See, that's another key. You may have to pay somebody to trust, meaning therapy. Find a good peer support person. Find a good mentor that you can trust. All right, now, with that, talk to people that will talk back with their own ideas, their own thoughts, not just to sit and agree with you. A lot of times we hang out and try to find people that agree with us, because who doesn't want to be basically someone telling them that they're nice and they're pretty and that they're this and that they're that. This is what happens to a lot of really famous people, is the next thing you know, they're living in such a deluded state because they are surrounded by yes men and yes women. All right. So the next thing is also writing or journaling can also be very helpful in this. Writing, it really helps you gain clarity with things because it makes you slow down for a second. It doesn't make you just have verbal diarrhea and throw it out there. So you actually put pen to paper. It gives you clarity with things on your mind by helping it, because it helps the 2 sides of your brain, the left brain and the right brain, talk to each other and work these issues out, okay? Heinz Kohut, who developed the theory of psychodynamics called self-psychology, wrote that even finding someone we can trust takes work, and that trust doesn't appear instantaneously. We actually have to teach them what we need and how to give it to us. So it just doesn't happen, but if you trust somebody, they need to also learn and really know you. Okay? Kind of makes sense, right? Number 4, be trustworthy yourself. Practice makes perfect, right? If you are going out and lying, telling little white lies, whatever, that's just not trustworthy. So you have to be trustworthy to the rest of the world. Because if you're not trustworthy on an outward point, you're going to lie to yourself all day long because it's easy to lie to somebody. It's probably easier to lie to someone else because you can't lie to yourself. You just can't. After a point, you can, but this is part of the problem that we're talking about. So that's really the last and 4th tip. You have to be trustworthy yourself. If you're not a good friend, if you're not honest, if you're not trustworthy to the people and the life around you, how can you ever be trustworthy and trust yourself? So these are just 4 things. This is a shorter episode, folks. The next episode that I'm going to do will be on gratitude. And then we'll do a 3rd episode on forgiveness. So there you go, guys. These are 4 tips to really go out and start trusting yourself again. I hope this gives some people some good guidance. If not, tell us what you think. Tell us how we can do better. Go to changeyourpov.com and leave us a message. Email me or Eddie. Leave us messages on our Facebook page at Change Your POV. So, wrapping this up, trust. It's one of the most important things out there, and it's obviously trusting yourself is above and beyond the most important thing to trust in this world. So, this has been another episode of Attack Friday. Now go out there and attack life.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Attack Friday. You can find all of the show notes for this episode by heading over to changeyourpov.com/episode 125. Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe on your podcast player of choice. We have a lot more great content headed your way. Come be a part of our community over at Change Your POV Squad Facebook group. All right, folks. Until next time.